At home, Tamara is talking on her cell phone, but how are we going to see each other today? He wants to go to his mother's house again, that unbearable old woman. I can't stand going there anymore, but let me know how to fix it. I'll call you when he gets out of here. Bye, kiss. As soon as she hangs up the phone, her husband arrives in the room asking if she's better and goes to check if she has a fever. She replies that she's still not well and has a headache. The husband says he needed to get up so they could go to his mother's lunch, but she refuses, saying she's not going to go. He insists a little, but she starts to give several reasons for not going, saying, "I'm in a lot of pain, the migraine is stronger and I can't even open my eyes properly." Insisting a little more, he says that she will just need to sit in a corner without making any effort and that she needs to go so his mother doesn't get upset, and she replies, "I know, you know how much I love your mother, send it a kiss for her for me." He tries to convince her to go by saying that her mother made her favorite strawberry dessert, but she still refuses, saying that she will stay home, and he asks what she will eat if she stays home alone, and she replies that that isn't good to help with the diet. Seeing her temperature once more, he says she doesn't have a fever, but she manages to convince her husband to leave her at home, and he says, "Do this, take the children to see their grandmother, they love going there, it's even good that I stay quiet here in the silence." He says that the children are always quiet and that they wouldn't want to be away from their mother, but she insists that he take the children, so he agrees and asks, "Okay, I'll take the children and you stay there resting, that's all there is to it, text me and I'll be back, will you text me?" She replies yes, and tells him to enjoy the ride. As soon as her husband leaves the room, she starts to laugh and say that she is going to call her lover. He picks up the cell phone and says, "Hi my love, you can come over here." He already left. I used the same excuse as usual and he fell again. "Oh, I said I was in a lot of pain, you know, right? I'm a great actress, I'm waiting for you here and I'll get ready for you, kiss." After she hangs up the phone, she goes to get ready, and soon after, the guy hugs her and asks if there really is no chance that her husband will arrive, and she replies, "No, don't worry, today is Sunday and his family talks most of all, it will take a while, now come let's enjoy that this house is ours alone." They are on the couch kissing when she stops and asks, "Baby, do you really love me?" He says yes and asks why the question, and she replies, "I have something very serious to talk to you about. I've been suspicious for days, but I didn't know how to tell him." Paolo asks what is going on. She replies that she is pregnant and the probability of the child being his is much greater than that of Will, her husband. Upon knowing this, Paul completely changes his expression and says, "Mine? Of course it's her husband's." Tamara replies that she's sure it's not her husband's, and Paolo tells her to turn around, that child can't be his. Tamara asks how he could be reacting like that after saying he loves her, and he replies that she is married. Tamara then tries to propose that they start a new life together, but Paolo replies, "No, I also have a girlfriend, I don't want to have children and I don't even like children." Tamara asks what she will do if she says the child is Will's and then is born with his face. Paolo replies that they even look alike and the child is Will's. After Paolo's reaction, she gets sad and says, "I didn't expect that reaction from you, I thought you'd be happy that we could be together." Paolo then begins to ask a series of questions, but why stay together? Do you want to dump your husband and lose this life you live here? Tamara, I don't have money for anything, where did you get this story of wanting to live with me? Do you want to stay with me so you have to go to work? After all these questions, she replies that this is not what she wants, and he continues saying that he would never be able to support her and a child with the salary he earns. Tamara asks what she will do now, and he says that it has nothing to do with it. When she starts to get up to leave, she asks him to stay, and just in time Will arrives shouting, "What is going on in this house? Who is that?" Tamara is startled and tries to explain that it's not what he's thinking, but Will asks, "How? If I see this guy here next to you on the couch?" Tamara and Paolo start to ask Will to calm down, but that only makes him more nervous, and he goes on top of Paolo, who orders Tamara to explain to her husband what is going on. Will looks at her and orders her to explain soon. She starts to say that Paolo seduced her, but her husband is very angry, asks, "Who are you trying to fool by saying that he was sick a few minutes ago and now he's there with another man on the couch? You'll see what I'm going to do to you." Tamara asks him to calm down and says, "You're not going to do anything to me because I'm pregnant." As soon as Tamara says that, Paolo gets up saying that he needs to leave to let the two sort themselves out. Tamara looks back at her husband and says, "Well, please let's talk, I'm pregnant with you." He doesn't believe it and says that the child could also be that other guy who just left there. She tries to say that that boy was a single slip of hers, but Will doesn't believe it and says, "I'm glad I left the kids at the house. My mother, imagine them seeing their mother lying on the couch with another man." She tells him to stop screaming, because she's pregnant and can't be nervous, so Will tells her to get out of there and go live with her lover. Tamara tries not to leave, saying that they need to be together for their children, but Will starts to take her outside, saying that he doesn't want to see her ever again. An hour later, Tamara arrives at Paolo's house. When he answers, he asks what she is doing there. She says that she needed to go and asks if she can come in, but Paolo denies the request. Tamara starts to beg, saying that her husband kicked her out of the house without even letting her get the slipper. Paolo asks if she explained to Will that the child is his, and she replies, "But I know that the child is hers." Paolo gets nervous and tells Tamara to get it into her head that that child is Will's, as she cannot afford to pay for her and the child living in that small place, but Tamara says that that place is better than living on the street since she has nowhere to go. Paolo says that it's her problem and the choices were hers, so she asks him to remember all the good times they had together, but Will says that they didn't even have real good times to remember, compared to all the ones they had. She had along with her husband and children. She asks how he could be acting this way, leaving him with no place to live, since every time they saw each other he said he loved her and started begging to be allowed in, but Paolo tells her to turn around and close the door. Crying at the closed door, she continues to beg, "Paolo, please don't leave me alone on the street. I don't believe, what am I going to do now?"